Hey, well, hey everybody. I think we got it this time. It looked like it was acting a little wonky for me for a second, and I just, I had to restart the stream. So I noticed, oh, that's kind of interesting. It's actually kind of doubled up this this information here. I'm gonna go ahead and fix that real quick. Let's do that right now. Generally speaking, it's a little bit bumpier road. I don't know, getting her started tonight. That's all right. We can just kind of save that. And let's bounce back over here. See how it's looking. All right, I think we're good. I'm going to go ahead and... So yeah, we're going to do some Lyria mining tonight. And I will go ahead and just kind of jump in game there, and we'll do a little bit of pre-flight and get out of here. So joining us tonight is 4. He is going to be just kind of chatting with us as we go through, and if anybody has any questions, I'm sure that he will have an excellent opinion as usual.
I'm going to try my best.
It's exactly right. So, yeah, good pre-flight there. I've got 3 brands on board this time. I was having a little bit of an issue with the FLTR XL, and I'm going to monkey around with that a little later. But I put it on, and then, for some reason, the first couple times I went out, it was fine. But then I noticed that, it had shifted up to the middle, consumable, and then it was acting like there wasn't a third consumable on there, regardless if I took the stuff off, put it back on, did all sorts of stuff. Took the mining laser head off, put it back on. Every single time I went back out to the ship, it just wouldn't wouldn't work. So hey, Perfectly Game, I hope that you are getting ready for bed, sir. That's my little guy checking in on us and making sure that we're doing everything age appropriate.
We'll keep it all PG.
Keep it all PG. Oh boy, look at I come out here and look at this. There's some stuff on the pad here. What do we have here? Well, people have been saying there's some wonky things going on, and I don't know. Look at that. I don't know what are these doing out here. Oh boy. Well, we'll see. We'll see how things go tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a little different.
Yeah.
Is there anything in it?
It was just I didn't really look. I didn't open them or anything. I just jumped in the ship and decided to head on out. That was funny.
Hello. How can this help you today? System time.
Okay, there's a pretty good delay between your feed.
Yeah, there is, and that may be, that may be a little bit of an issue. Hey, Squirrel, how you doing tonight? Yeah, free stuff, Squirrel says. So yeah. It may not. There may be a bit of a disconnect between the. The stream is a touch behind the. It's a touch behind.
Yeah.
So there may be a bit of a disconnect, but I still think it'll be. Squirrel said, "Put them all in my ship." Yeah, I should have, man. There's some extra, maybe a little extra money there. That would have been hilarious. So yeah, we're gonna head to ArcCorp. We're gonna head over to Lyria. And we will see what we find. Now, I probably won't get as lucky as I did earlier tonight. I found a set of doublers. First set I found right off the bat, I got a uni out of it. So, well, I guess not quite a uni, but darn close. I think maybe, no, it probably was not it was like almost 30 SCU. 29 and some change. So, didn't quite break the way that we had, hoped or whatever, but No big deal.
Still respectable.
Yeah, definitely a respectable 29 SEU. So we'll see if we can, you know, grab a couple of rocks tonight and see if we can't find something to put the lasers on. So off to ArtCorp we go. We'll kind of pivot port side and head off to Lyria and get down there and see if we can't find anything. So I took the Freelancer Max for a ride tonight. You know, Ford was gracious enough to let me fly that thing around. That isn't, kind of diving into some theory crafting a little bit. I think that's an excellent first. That's an excellent, like, kind of once you kind of get out of, say, the Cuddy Black or whatever your starter ship is. And the Cuddy Black allows you to kind of one-to-one a Prospector. It has enough room where if you get 32 SEU, you can haul the entire load with the Cuddy Black. But I tell you, that first stop on the way to, say, something better, obviously there, nothing wrong with this, your standard Freelancer, but that Freelancer Max, that's a nice ship for 122 SCU. Not a bad step up. Not a, definitely one that I would recommend. She flies a little like a commercial, vehicle, but
definitely, she flies like a barge. But
yeah. But that 122 SCU, that's a sweet spot. It really is, so for sure. So in the Shubin, we'll head here. That's nice and bright in the sunlight and real close. See if we can't. Good. Oh, yeah, just kind of checking our controls here and crank her up to about, around 300 or so. And once we get in there, we'll start looking around for something to mine here. So yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, no, it's common to see that that last one say offline. It really is common. But it was acting like there wasn't even one on there at all before. So I'm wondering if I'm gonna give that one a try and see what we got this time.
Why not? Couldn't hurt.
Mm. Squirrel, you getting ready for your stream Wednesday night? Is that when you're having it? Hey, there's a set of doublers right off the bat. First rocks that drew icons. Let's get down here and see what we got. Alrighty, here we'll take a look. And that's not going to be a whole lot, 6%er. And what do we have here? That's not going to be a whole lot. That's actually pretty good sized mass, but that's a 2%er, so off we go.
That ain't gonna cut the mustard.
No, sir. But it was nice to see doublers right off the bat. Hey, there's another set of doublers. Ooh, there's a cluster too. And a real big one. So we'll at least take a peek at these doublers. Let me just kind of look where that's at. Okay, right off there. Well, at least take a look at the doublers while we're over here. But we'll head that way. It looks like that's at about maybe my 4 o'clock from where I'm at. Look at that one icon. You can tell it's still right there, but the icon... Oh, she blinked a bit. Oh, now she's back on. The icons are being a little, there's a little bit going on, I think, with the servers. Maybe with Xeno Thread or whatever. And I've had a couple people I was chatting with that, just kind of came and asked me some questions like, have I been seeing it being a little lot? Now that's a nice, that's a 7994. That's an 8,000 mass rock, but just didn't have anything in it. I wouldn't have been able to do anything with it anyways, but...
Oh yeah, that's right. We're Mr. Brandt.
Okay,
We don't believe in surgeons.
Yeah, exactly. There's a 4,000 pound rock at 27%. So, and of course I have this cluster I'm going to go look at. I'm going to fire up QuantCalc and take a peek here and see if we can just get an idea of how much is in this guy. So this is a flat 4,000. Isn't that weird? You got just a straight 4,000 mass, like right on the nose. And she's 27.65, 27.65. Yeah, there's 22 SCU in that guy. So not, certainly very respectable. But obviously over your shoulder here when you're looking at all these rocks, you wanna go over here and take a look at the cluster first.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it will be interesting to see if we did have back there if that thing would despawn, but I don't think it will. Unless I cracked it, and I can still kind of see him behind me on the. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Hopefully, there's something in here that's a real comparable mass, and good percentages. So that is a 6%er. Ooh, this could be a decent one. There's a 5,200 at 27%.
Well, that's getting better.
Yeah, that's a good one. For sure. I'll mine that one if, wouldn't be ashamed to. That's for sure. So there's a big 7,800, but nothing in it. Not a whole lot in it. Still got 4 rocks to scan here. That's a 4,800 at 2%. All right.
Well, I've just got my QuantCalc out right now. 5,200 at 27% is 28 SCU.
Nice. And here is, I'm not going to be able to do anything with it, but here's 6,700 at 35%. That's a good rock.
That's 46.9 SCU. See how quick that is to calculate up your Quantanium, right?
Yeah, it's really nice. 2 did a really good job with that. He did. Awesome. Cool. All right. So I think this is probably going to be my... I think this guy right here, this 5,200 mass at 27% is going to be my guy. The 6,700, I'm not kitted for it. I would have to have some surges on board and...
Yeah, you'd have to have at least a surge for sure.
And a little bit of luck, too, to kind of hold her in there. So we will kind of come right in this. We won't even sneeze at this. We'll take this guy right off the bat and see how we do.
Absolutely.
Now obviously sometimes a little bit of this can be impacted, and you can see that there is some of it impacted as I get a little closer. And kind of, I'm using the shadow there to put my... You build a little contrast for my optimal window. Go ahead and take my intensity up, and we'll see what we get. So TOA Kowalski says, what's the max mass that the rented Prospector can crack? Found some really good rocks, but I couldn't crack them. TOA Kowalski, that is an excellent question. And here's what you're going to want to do, right? I have found that the better gig is to maybe find something that's... And they're a little hard to find, but the 6 to 10%er for that rented Prospector is going to be more your jam, because it's going to be wildly unstable with that first laser. Of course, you can do pretty well if you find Lyranite, Terranite, Bexylite, or Agricium. You don't just have to do Quantanium, but if you're going to do Quantanium, when they start getting up around 12, 15, percent. It's a little tough with that arbor, that first laser. So great question. I would say the mass, you're going to want to be somewhere around, between 4 and 5,000, probably no higher than 5. But you're gonna want, if you find Quantanium in it, 6 to 10%. It's actually gonna make a significant difference in your yield, how much money you make. If so you can still do some Quantanium, but it's lower percentage stuff that you're gonna want to look for. But with the arbor, I would take laranite or taranite or bexylite. Borace you may not find necessarily in high concentrations, but I would take that stuff any day of the week with that first, because you can still, even though Quantanium head hunting is, obviously the most maximum yield, you can still make pretty good money refining those other things, and you can successfully do those things pretty quickly. You're not necessarily running risks or that type of thing. But even if you end up with a little bit of Quantanium on board, like 3 or 4 SCU of Quantanium, it will help offset, you'll make quite a bit of money quickly that way. So hopefully that answered your question, and if you have more questions, please ask. That's exactly, why we're here. We like to answer those types of questions. Have you ever mined with the base Prospector?
Yeah, that's that MH1 or whatever that is, that first mining.
The Arbor, yeah.
The Arbor, yeah. I think even if you were coming up on 5,000 mass, I think that would be, anything like that would be really tough to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know what I mean, with that very first one, I think a 4,500 is probably about all you can handle, but the more, like you said, the more Quantanium, the more unstable it's going to be, which is going to make it harder. You got to feather it, right?
Oh, absolutely. You're going to be feathering like crazy, and
yeah.
And even
you
at even
kind of know what you're doing there.
Yeah, even at 6, even at 6 to 10%. And he's asking best areas for other materials. Hunted around, found some, but not much. So I would probably think, for certainly for Agricium, Yella is a good place for Agricium, or has been traditionally. It's been a little while since I've been over there, but I'm talking Yella on the surface. There's tons of Agricium, and you can make don't sneeze at it. I mean, Quantanium mining, obviously, we make a lot of money at. There's no question about it. But you can make good money at Agricium mining. I know it's not, they're all, it's definitely not the, the bougie. It's definitely not the best possible stuff. But Yellow would be there. I also think that you would find good laranite and taranite, those types of deposits on Daymar as well. So flying out of CRUL1.
If I could weigh in there,
Please do.
Would say, I always found Air and Halo worked out well for even lower than, if you're not looking for Quantanium, lower than Quantanium, you can find clusters on Air and Halo as well.
Yep. Another place is HURL3. There's pretty good, I think there's pretty good laranite and taranite in there as well. I mean, you will find Quantaniums in there, but I would suggest, there's a few places there. So this guy fell out for a second, and she got a little gnarly. It's a 1.58 instability, so it shouldn't be swinging that wild, but she did for a minute. She swung wild and got out for a second, and we didn't get the break. So we'll just kind of keep a close eye on it this time, and
these things happen.
Yeah, well, it's just fine.
You can always bring it up again. You can't undercharge it once you've blown it up.
That's exactly right. You always want to flirt with the optimal line and not the overcharge line. That's exactly for sure. So, all right, cool. Well, that was got that break, and this first rock right on top is a whole lot of nothing. What do we have here? This is an 1111 mass at 55%. Hey, no problem, Kowalski. No problem at all. Any questions you have about mining, we like to answer them. So. All right.
Oh, she's pretty good.
Yeah, she's scanning. Let's see, that's a 354.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm a little behind you.
Yeah. Touch a lag there. So, Big D Man's Gaming Channel, I always have to go to New Babbage for my consumables. which is the surge and lifeline for my Prospector. Any place else that you know to go for those? Yeah, I mean, I think what you may not know, Big D Man, is or Daz. How you doing, Daz? Thanks for joining and asking. If you actually are if you go into the refineries, and if you hover your mouse, like if you go into the refineries, into the terminals, if you hover your mouse up over the up in the top section where along the header, and you use your mouse wheel, it will absolutely open up one more tab that you can't see that has the mining heads and the mining consumables on it. So any of those refineries, you know, there's more stuff there than you think if you didn't know that already. And that's actually a good tip or trick. You know, a lot of it wasn't intuitive to me how to find that spot. You know, so it's one of those things I like to pass along to people. So this thing kind of broke up.
On the clothing tab, if you down scroll your mouse on the clothing tab, you go to utility, and you can pick up those. But there's not every one of those consumables on each place. Like Arc L1 doesn't have the surge, but I believe Crew L1 does.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So yeah, exactly.
No, I think HURL1 has the surges as well.
Yeah, her L1. That you know what? Actually, that's where I was her L1.
Yeah,
right.
HURL1 is where you can find those. And the lifelines, I'm pretty sure there's lifelines at CRUL1. You know, it was either there or Ali. I used to get them, but I'm pretty sure. And you know, obviously those lifelines are nice to have in certain situations. Yep, HURL1. Scalba is also chipping in and saying HURL1 for that. Appreciate that, Scalba. Yeah. You know, like, and Big D Man, you can always, obviously let me know. You know, you can always send me, send something in Discord. I have my Discord in it. You know, if you ever need a hand looking at, understanding that. As a matter of fact, I think I do have a video on my channel somewhere that talks about how to, it's like a 30-second video or something that's a tip or trick about that, how to get that extra tab on there, because it confused me as well. Arc L1 has lifelines according to Scalba. Oh yeah, PO has it too. So Lasai is chipping in. You know, good conversation. You know, that's what this channel's all about, is just kind of helping people out with mining, and I appreciate that.
Hey, wait a minute. No, I wouldn't say Crew L1 for the surge. Don't go to Crew L1 for the surge. It's her L1.
Yeah, her L1 for the surge, and CRU L1. Potentially, or Ali for the lifelines. But I think, once you kind of understand that you can do that in the refineries, then it's going to open up you don't have to get so crazy and go to New Babbage every time for everything. All right, so I kind of fired a brand there just to kind of flatten this guy out. We're going to have to see how this breaks. There's a lot of it underground. And so this is going to be interesting. We may not, even though there was, a fairly good load, 27, 28 SCU in here. We'll have to see what we can get on board with these breaks, because a lot of this is impacted here. There's a good break. Kind of scooch around this guy. Yeah, she's a real... None of the stuff is broken away here. We might have to put a little mustard on one of these and... You know what I mean? Do our thing.
Give her a little extra, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I might do that here. We'll have to see if we can... I'm going to break down this rock that doesn't really need to be broken down. But I'm going to try to... just take a look there. Alright, I'm going to start moving it up. I might try and get into the overcharge just a touch if I can. This and put a little mustard on it. Not a whole lot, hopefully. This is a work in progress here. We'll see how this goes. That's exactly what I wanted to do perfectly right there. See, and if you see the reason I did that is because I wanted to kind of break away some of this garbola. And I did that. That was actually really a nice... That was actually a solid move. I kind of got it right in at the end. Alright, there's nothing there. Are there any more yellows on this? On this guy? Yeah, there's one down there. This is a big... Okay, so there's nothing in that one, though. I'm going to break this one, too, real quick. This isn't breaking well here. This is... this is definitely breaking kind of crummy. That's alright. We'll see what we can... You know, you gotta take... Sometimes you gotta take challenges a little bit.
Yeah, well, you're sitting on the edge of this cliff here, too. It's not easy.
So I'm gonna flirt with giving this one a touch of mustard too. Not a whole lot though. I don't want her to get... Alright, let's kind of move her up and see if we can just get a touch in there. You can see kind of what I'm doing there is I'm using the... I'm definitely breaking away pieces and knocking them off. You know, it actually has worked really well these couple times. Putting a little more energy in there than there needs to be. I'm just going to check all these. I don't think a whole lot of these have anything in them down here, but let's just double check. So we can rule them out. Oh, that one's got some Quantanium. I know that's a 70%. I have to remember that. It's the one tucked against that tree there. Or tucked against that other rock there. I'm not sure why I said tree, but yeah, there's a hundo in there. Alright, so there's some stuff down here. There's nothing. There's nothing. Yeah, I expect mostly nothing down here. But there's a 70 and a hundo down there, so I'll have to remember that. Okay, cool. Now what is this guy? This guy is nothing. Okay, did this guy have anything in it? I can't remember. I'm not getting a rescan. We'll have to look at that one in a sec. Oh, this has got 10% in here, so let's break this one down too. This is a 1.13. We can manage this without any extra. So, Big D saying I can mine up to 6K rock before using a surge. That's very, very true, especially if you have the Lancet on board. Right around 6,000 is going to be the cap. I think I've knocked a 5924 out with the stock Lancet. So that is right around your cap for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I tried 62. I couldn't get 62.
Yep. And 5924 seems like that's the number that's sticking out in my head as the biggest one I've ever been able to do with the Lancet. Alright, so all this stuff is really broke down. It's just a question of whether or not you can get anything out of here worth anything. This really broke kind of yucky.
As a matter of fact, it was a 6200 that convinced me to start using surges because I was really upset with the fact that it was, you know, 6200 at 40-something%, and I couldn't even crack it.
Right on the edge there, yeah. You know, and the thing is when it is around that 60, that's an easy surge break. You know, it's not difficult. You'll hold that green easy.
Oh yeah, once you get that green, you hold that green. The only problem is you gotta be careful that you don't go flying past it.
That's exactly right. Now this was a hundo here too, I recall. So this is going to be interesting. I think that we're not, you know, and we were never taking a uni away anyway from here, but this one had some Quantanium in it. But we'll get off to the races here with not. So there's 10 SCU, 11, not too shabby. Oh, what's this guy? Did I not break one up? Let's look. Probably a big... Oh, wow. Well, that's all right. We'll make short work of this one, too. So that happens sometimes, you know, you just kind of clear some space, and I didn't really look good. So we will make short work of this guy. That's a lot of Quantanium in this guy.
Power critical. Warning. Power critical.
Yep. And we have plenty of time. I know that people sometimes are, you know, will get a little panicked. You know, you have time to do one extra break if you need to.
Absolutely.
You know, it happens. It happens to the best of us. And so, you know, I definitely want to get... This is 47%er here. You know, it's 350 mass worth of Quantanium in this thing. So we got to get this thing broke up for sure.
Definitely.
And I was able to put a little mustard on a couple of those non-Quantanium breaks and cleared away some chunks here. So back to extraction mode, and right after we go. Oh, so Crypto Gamba's asking, what do I have in the Prospector? Right now I have I think the easiest way to say that is I have the Lancet, and I have 3 brands. Very vanilla. You know, that's how I like to run my ship. Here's a 70%er, I'll take it. And I have a rush drive on this for a drive right now. No, that's not. I'm doing some short range mining tonight, so you know the Atlas is the best all-arounder I think for your quantum drive. But you know the rush of the VK00 is you know a couple of other options. So all right, we're working hard here. I think we're gonna.
I've never strayed too far from that Atlas, but
yeah,
it is a good point. It is a good point to know that if you're only going 3 million kilometers, you can make some extra time up with a shorter range quantum drive.
Absolutely. Yep, the VK00 and the Rush are both real good short range drives. Boy, there's a lot of... Oh no, Big D. It's my in-game name is _VVV. So V_V_V. Space Shorts is just the name of the channel here. Hey, there's an 89%er. So a lot of this is kind of broken up. We're just trying to get the most out of it we can right now. Seeing if we can, you know, we want to get over 20 SCU for sure if we can. And hopefully do a touch better than that. There was a little bit more than that in here. So alright, so we did some work and we definitely ended up with, we're at 20. We still have some wiggle room. There's a 77%er. Yeah, this guy didn't break up perfect or whatever. Let's take a look at this guy here. 22 SCU. Still hoping that there's a 27%er. So this is gonna, it's a big rock. This is gonna get close to closing us out, I think. Yeah, we can type. I can type that in here in just a sec. Let me get headed back to the station, and I'll put it in for you. So we're still sitting at 12 minutes. We're just fine. I'm just kind of looking over here. I've got 2 SCU of wiggle room. I'm just hoping there's maybe one more we can grab. There's 9% in that one. Not great. I don't think there was that too much in this one. Yeah, there's 10% in that one. So we ended up with 23.81 SCU. Yeah, this one didn't break great. You know what I mean? But that's, you know, sometimes you got to dig it out a little bit. So we'll go ahead and make our way back to ARC L1.
Well, and then I suppose there's something to be said for filters too, right? The FTLR mining module, and
yep.
If a guy were to use 2 brands and an FTLR, then you might catch an extra 2 SCU per load, and you know what? Then it pays itself.
You know, and that's exactly how I wanted to be running tonight. I just my Prospector was acting weird. It wasn't allowing the second brand on with the FLTRXL. So I agree with that 100%. You know, 2 brands and an FLTL RXL is a real good way to do that. So, so yeah, how about this? If you look there, Big D, there it is right there, is the name of my in-game name, right there. V_V_V. So that'll probably help you out. And we're on our way back to Arkel 1. Drop this guy back off and head back out and see if we can do one more for the night, at least.
Yeah, why not? That was a nice easy one. That was all right.
Yeah, that didn't go bad at all. So we're gonna drop out of here for first quantum, and then I'll spool up for second, and we will take it on in. Thank you, Scalb. I appreciate it.
Quantum travel complete. Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
All right, in we go. I usually like to cruise in somewhere, you know, between 300 and 400. In control, but, you know, obviously respecting the fact that we've got the Quantanium on board and cruising on in.
I like about 400. 400 is about where I come in. It's always it's still within control. By the time when I come in at 400, you see Armistice Zone. I start slowly easing it back, and then by the time it hits hit your ATC, then I'll take off the cruise control, get my ATC, and then come back into it.
Absolutely. Real easy. Hey, Cyber Spooky, how you doing tonight, sir? Nice to see ya. Yeah, we'll keep asking until they give us one.
Please proceed to assign
Hey, there we go. And as you know, if you guys recall, I had to break up an extra rock, and I still haven't hit first alarm. So you know, there's time. You just need to just kind of take your time. You know, obviously it's important that you pay attention to the timer, but you know, if you leave you know, on a short range trip with 10 minutes or so, you're going to make it just fine, even if you hit a little, hit a snag here or there. So, alrighty, in we go. I like to just set her down nice and gentle here. There we are. There's first alarm. It just went off, and that's pretty common.
Have a pleasant stay.
Engines off.
Yeah, as soon as your landing gear hits the ground, I hear first alarm locked.
It's kind of uncanny, and part of it might be we're bumping the ship.
That's what I thought, is as soon as you jostle it with that volatile cargo.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. So in we go. Cool. Down to the lobby we go. So why, you know, kind of doing this elevator thing, I will mention, just to anybody who's out there who's interested, and you certainly don't have to be, shameless plug time. We do have an app. I did put the link to the app in the chat. It's just $1. Helps, you know, helps our org out with its Discord and that type of thing. But it's a great little app where you can just plug in the mass of the rock and the percentage of the Quantanium, and it will absolutely just spit out immediately how much SCU is in that rock. It also has a cluster mode where you can, you know, put in 4 or 5 rocks or whatever, and it will keep the cluster for you as well, and kind of the entire amount. And there, you know, there's some 2.0 version that's coming that's going to have some refining costs and that type of thing as well. And you know, and so yeah, I always like to mention it just because it's a super handy tool to have your, you know, you have like a real small screen. You don't have to toggle out of any screens. You can just kind of pick your phone up real quick, plug in a couple numbers, and it spits it out real fast. So at least once a stream for here on out, I'm going to mention it. If you'll probably hear us talking about it when we're looking at rocks, but I just do like to mention it, you know, just because it's I think it's a handy tool. We had one kind of on our, you know, inside our organizational page for a while, and I thought, boy, you know, this is a handy thing to have. So.
Yeah, I just got it the other day. It works really good. Yeah, I've been trying it out as soon as you called them out. I was trying them out and came up the perfect numbers.
And you're not. It's only $1. You're not out of ton.
We're not breaking the bank.
That's for sure. You know, you might have to cut back on half coffee there.
Hi, good to have you back.
So, all right. So here we go. We're gonna go ahead and set up work order here, and we're gonna do this Quantanium 23 Dynic solvenation. We'll get a quote. We'll get that guy confirmed. And you can see we've had some pretty good success here. We have had a uni there, and a darn close to a uni there, and a couple of other little guys. So we're cooking a little bit there. We're probably getting on to be about 100 SCU cooking in the hopper. Nothing to sneeze at. So we'll get back here in the elevator. We'll take a look at the Prospector on the way up. I'll actually try and fit the FLTR XL back on there and see if it actually...
Did you get on the elevator yet, sir?
I have not gotten on the elevator yet.
They're just asking if they could show the utility menu.
Oh, I'm happy to do that. Yeah, let me run back. So I am gonna... Let me show you guys that utility menu, just because we talked about it. Andreas, how you doing? It's good to see you again. Or Andre is the name. How are you doing, Andre? So yeah, this is kind of one of those things, right? So if I'm looking here at if I log on here at the terminal, if I hover my mouse up here over the header and I just kind of mouse wheel, you can see it opens up this utility icon. And when you click on utility, that's where you're going to get your mining modules and your mining laser heads. And that's not intuitive. A lot of people don't realize that that's a thing. So yeah, you hover your mouse up over this way and you just kind of mouse wheel back and forth. And bingo bango. That's how it goes. And you know, and here you can see it's got the branch. There's a lifeline right here. I think we were talking about the lifeline. So this is ARC L1 that I'm on. And then there are stampedes, but their surges are on HUR L1 like we talked about earlier. So yeah, Andre, good to see you too, man. Thanks for joining tonight. We've been you know, doing a little bit of mining and chit chatting. You know how we do. And yeah, you know, got any questions or anything like along those lines? Just fire them up. If anybody likes to talk about anything when it comes to Star Citizen, you know, obviously, even if it's off the mining topic, we'll give you our best opinion. Yeah, Andre's saying that's such an easy thing to miss. It really is an easy thing to miss. No question about it. So, anyways, I like to use this elevator time sometimes as I'm heading back up here to take a look at the Prospector. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put the FLTR XL back on this guy. and we'll save it, and we'll see how it looks. So you can see here clearly I have 2 brands and an FLTR XL, and that's the 3rd one down. So we'll see how it behaves when I pull the ship, and I'll look at it one last time as well. I'm going to do that one last time. Just double check that it's stuck. Let's go ahead and just Prospector 2. Hit the utility. You can see it says brand FLTRXL. So let's see if it's going to be respectful of that when we head out. Because it wasn't doing that earlier. And you know, if we head out down 1 brand, then maybe maybe there'll be a little bit of sparks on the old mining channel tonight. Okay, I won. Hey, Cyberspooky saying, don't forget to thumbs up. You know, it really does help. You know, I do appreciate it. If you do happen to thumbs up the stream, you know how the algorithms work. You know, and if you like it, give me a thumbs up. You know, and obviously, anytime you see me streaming, it's always a situation where I'm gonna do my best to address any of your questions about mining while I mine. So, you know, I just love helping out, and I adore Star Citizen, and I really do focus heavily on mining. So, and then we're always blessed to have 4 along with us as well. He's got darn near as much time as me at the back end of a laser, or maybe more. I don't, you know. Yeah, I know the ROC mined a bunch. You know.
I don't know. I'm not so sure, but yeah.
You know. So, but you know, obviously, it's always good to to have a couple people to get to drop in their opinions and
bounce some ideas off each other anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're always happy to answer any questions for sure. Alrighty. Fire up the engines here. Up we go.
I'll try it one more time.
Yeah, let's see if we can't go out there one more time and not necessarily fly around all over Lyria for more than an hour. We'll see how we do.
Well, good luck, Chuck. But yep, let's try it.
There we go.
Never know.
We're spooling up, headed to the ArcCorp now.
Hard to say. If a guy waits for you could be waiting for a while. But there's a line there, right? There's a line where it's more profitable to take a 15 or 2 or 3 15s than it is to wait for 1 32.
I agree with that. You know, it's if you find something that's between 15 and 20 SCU, and you look that over, I don't know if it's just I'm an old superstitious miner or what it is, but man, there's more times than not I pass over that 15 SCU and I spend the next 35 minutes looking around, and then I take 21 instead. I should have just grabbed that 15, went and put it in the hopper, and brought it back out.
That's the thing, and it's like I'm an actual gold miner out in the field, and you don't leave gold to go find more gold. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just a silly thing to do.
Yep. No, it's money in the bank, and it's and obviously the most infinite and most important asset is time. So if you if you have a chance to grab 15 to 20 SCU, don't look down your nose at it. It's still over $100,000, but so. And that,
for sure.
Those add up. So Andre's saying it seems salvage is off the table again, and that he's gonna change his salvage ship into a Carrack. Good choice, by the way. Although one may say salvage is out, exploration is maybe out too. Andre, here's the one thing I will say: it really seems like they've gotten focused on, on Squadron 42. And that's just kind of where they're at now. There's information they're sharing now. I don't usually get too worked up about it one way or the other, because they could change it all on a dime again later. So I understand. Here's the one good thing I will take out of what you've said in that particular thing. You've picked a hell of a nice ship. If you've turned your ship into if you've decided to get rid of your salvage ship and just decided to get a Carrack, those are excellent ships. You will not be disappointed with the Carrack. I like the Carrack a ton. I think it's an excellent command
That's a
center.
utility ship. It can do anything.
Absolutely.
It can do everything. The Carrack is an amazing ship.
Absolutely. And I mean, there's wheelers. We'll head to wheelers. We had a heck of a good time with the Carrack this weekend, and it's great. I mean, I actually did something silly, ended up dying, spawned right back on the Carrack. So it's great. I mean, that ship is a heck of a base of operations.
Well, yeah, and it can shoot. Like, it can bring you back to life. It can shoot. It has a cargo bay that can send out a little fighter. It has everything.
Yeah.
It's a great little ship. That's a great ship.
Yep. So wherever salvage is and all those things. I mean, obviously. Four and I are super interested in salvage. We talk all the time that we can't wait to get some. We're just talking before the stream started about how we couldn't wait to get some vultures or get a reclaimer and how the reclaimer is going to be kind of the mold of the salvage world and all that. And I mean, if they do put it off again for that amount of time, I get it for sure. But I will say that we're definitely going to always make the best of those types of things. And everybody's kind of up in arms right now, and I just. For myself, I'm just going to kind of stay mining and stay answering those questions as best we can, and just kind of hang in there with it. So, Andre's also saying what made me do it was the blue and black skin on the Carrack. When I saw that, I had a midlife crisis and needed to have it. Yeah, I can get it. So the Carrack is it's a nice ship. That is an excellent choice. I couldn't agree more. And those skins do make it nice for sure. Alright, so we got to get below the cloud line there. That was... Alright, off we go. Really good choice on the Carrack. I'd say that's 4 thumbs up from the two of us. And I will say, just to throw it out there for conversation, I recently picked up the M2 Hercules, which I know the C2 has a little bit more cargo space, but they have the same amount of, they have the same floor plan and so you can kind of load the same amount of stuff up there. And I kind of bought it as like an ROC platform, and I know ROC mining it's got its bugaboos as well right now, but I definitely like that ship for that particular platform. So Big D is saying, hey, that trick with the mouse wheel worked, thanks. He says ArcL1 does not. Nope, HURL1 will have the surge. So you're saying ArcL1 doesn't have the surge. HURL1 will have the surge, but ArcL1 does have the lifeline and it does have the brand. You know what I mean? And so if you do want the surge specifically, HURL1 would be where I would head from ArcL1 to get that. So little journey, but not too bad.
It's only 20 million.
Yep. Alright, so we're down here and cruising around and seeing if Lyria's going to keep me honest or not here.
Cyber Spooky was saying a time component to the mining meta gets teased with lower percentage rocks, but if he bypasses them, then he seems to get a single high percentage high mass. And I have seen that before, where I'll go all day finding these little itty bitty nothing stupid rocks, and then find myself an 86 and 40%, but can't break it unless you got the surges. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that's
there might be something there too, because I have seen that before.
That's a big part of what we do as miners, right? Is look for those patterns.
Exactly.
Those are important. I mean, so you don't want to. You always want to kind of, if you really think that you're seeing something, it's good to pay attention to it, for sure. And so that's the type of stuff that we like to, quite honestly, I like to talk about and share on the channel, because collectively as a group, all of us are going to be able to, to talk together and kind of figure this thing out a little better. And I do wonder sometimes if there's some kind of a, I definitely see where there's hot and dry, like cold, and it's cold, but then there's some days it's like, man, every time I come out here, I find a 35 or 40 percenter. So there's something to it, you know, for sure. And Andre is saying, I think that they're serious about the armor. We are all going to envy your M2. Yeah, that armor is going to be something, isn't it? The other thing about the M2, one thing I really liked is that it's got that. The jump seats are nice when you have a couple of ROC pilots on board, but also that in the armory you have those 4 suit areas. So I think, you know, being able to put like the Pembrokes and the Novikovs, like 4 sets of each, and have them in there, and then having a nice armory on there. I just think it was the right fit for an ROC platform. You know, obviously you can get a ton of ROCs on there as well.
But any kind of drop platform, it would work just perfectly for.
Yeah, well, it doesn't just have to be an ROC platform. It's definitely you can get the bikes out, you can get the Cyclones out.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it doesn't. You're not limited. That's for sure. Those things haul. So, and here's the thing. The M2 is 522 SCU. That's nothing to sneeze at. It's not the 697 or 696 or whatever of the C2, but it's, you know, it's pretty darn good. I mean, there's still quite a bit of you know, you're still hauling over 500 SCU. So Big D Man. So what do you do if Lyria gets too bright? Maybe go to Walla. That's what I do. So are you just Big D? Are you talking about the contrast or whatever? Because there's ways to kind of put the sun at your back and kind of use the shadows of the rock a little bit, and maybe we can demonstrate some of that for you. But I'm just kind of curious if that's what you're talking about as far as contrast. Hey, there's a doubler, finally. Fine.
And like I just put in there too. Like I see, you know what? If Lyria gets bright, I'll go to the dark side.
Yeah.
I like the dark side because, you know, I mean, as long as you keep an eye on your altimeter, you're doing okay. As long as you're, you know, 15 to 18 above, and you can see so much better with contrast on the dark side of the planet.
I agree with that. You know, nothing wrong with nighttime mining. You know, nothing wrong with it at all. I do a lot of daytime mining just because maybe it makes for better visuals in the stream.
It looks better it looks better for what we're doing. Absolutely, 100%.
Right. But there's nothing wrong with hitting the dark side of the planet.
Might have to do that sometime and just, you know,
we'll
show an example of dark side of the planet.
Yeah, well, it's a good idea. I think I'll have to weave some of that into the tapestry here, but I like that idea.
Don't underestimate the dark side.
That's funny. Cyberspooky says he loves his M2.
Is Walla any good?
You know, I've certainly found Quantanium on Walla before and clusters of it. The one reason that we kind of come to Lyria a lot is because, you know, and it's something I repeat kind of like a broken record on the channel here, is when you come to Lyria, anything that's more than 2 rocks is always Quantanium. You know, you'll absolutely find Quantanium on Walla, and quite honestly, I think that, you know, at some point we're going to start doing a little bit more on Daymar, Seleniella. You know, I mean, we're going to take the stream other places. You know, and I've been doing a lot of just kind of Lyria mining, kind of tuning things in with the stream and that kind of a thing. But I think we're pretty solid there. So, yeah, you know, as far as Walla goes, that's the only real difference, right? Is you're going to have to you're going to want to scan your singles a little more on Walla.
You gotta pick and choose.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just because you see 2 or more rocks, that doesn't mean that it's going to definitely be Quantanium. Hey, there's some gems that kind of burst out underneath me.
Yeah.
Cyber Spooky says the dark side is cookies.
Yeah, we got cookies.
They do. They got cookies. Alright, so we're cruising along.
Oh, more diamonds. Yeah, there was like 3 or 4. That was well, I seen where you. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm behind you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I seen where that came up. That was 3 or 4 or 5. I like how Lyria has been coming up with more and more of the rock minables. And I think that's becoming more and more popular. I can't wait to go and try that out too.
Yeah, and I think we're definitely going to be doing some rock mine streaming. You know, for sure. ROC mining is a blast, and we'll knock together. You know, even if it's just you and I, we'll knock together a little stream and go do some ROC mining for sure.
Oh yeah, I don't see why not.
And that Freelancer Max is an excellent 2 rock carrier. It is. I mean, it's a little sluggish in ammo. Don't get me wrong, but she sets down real stable, and it's real easy to get that to get those ROCs on and off that thing.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I mean, you could. I mean, if you wanted to squeeze, you could probably squeeze. You know what I mean? But 2 fit so easy, comfortable. I had 2 brand new guys, just off of, you know what I mean? Just like fresh off the channel. They came in with a couple of rocks that I bought, and they went out ROC mine, and I taught them how to ROC mine right out of the back of that Freelancer. It was beautiful. Such a nice ship for that.
Yep, I could not agree more. Andre saying he went with the C2. I wanted to have the largest amount of SCU I could have on a ship and land anywhere. But he does like the armor on the M2. Listen,
agreed.
That C2, I am not in any way saying anything negative about the C2. It's an excellent ship, and having that 696, having that kind of server max trade capacity is enviable. You know, that's a very good. You know, that thing is great, and I definitely don't sleep on the fact that it can take one less crew member and probably do just fine too. So yeah, there was some give and take. I had a pretty good debate with myself going with the C2 versus the M2. I finally went with the M2, but you know what? Like I said, I have a ton of respect for anybody who purchases the C2. Big D Man says he's going to listen to the stream while he cashes out at Area 18 with a full Cutlass Black. So sounds like me, like you're 1-to-1 in Big D Man, which is, you know, kind of one Prospector run for one Cutlass Black. And I'll tell you what, we've spent a lot of time doing that. You know, and so we were talking about earlier how that first step out, you know, is you might consider like a standard Freelancer, but if you can spring for it, that Freelancer Max is a really good landing spot. You know, it's certainly less expensive than a Taurus, but still has a respectable 122 SCU in it.
Yeah, you can do basically 4 Prospector loads if they're not all unis, obviously.
Yeah.
But you can do 4 Prospector loads out of 1 Freelancer instead of having to go the 1 Prospector, 1 Cutlass, 1 Prospector, 1 Cutlass.
Yep.
It's monotonous. It's tedious. It's so much nicer once you get that Freelancer. I agree so wholeheartedly. Yep.
That being said, it's, you know, 1-to-1ing is what you do when you first start out. That's just what you do.
That's what you got to do. Yeah, you got to make your loot. Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to make yourself, you know, I mean, you got to make a little bit of a living to go ahead and earn that thing. And you know something, I wouldn't begrudge somebody who just grabbed a Freelancer. But I think for a little bit more money, that Max is a little better deal because she holds twice as much.
It's definitely worth it to do the extra 2 loads and get your Freelancer Max.
Could not agree more.
Worth it just because you're horny, you know what I mean? Just hang on a little longer.
Yep.
And get that Freelancer Max. It's worth it. Definitely worth it.
I agree with that 100% for sure. Hey, Big D's going to tell us what his profit, how he did. So that's cool. Yeah,
right.
we love to hear that stuff.
Wait. No, I'm excited. I can't wait.
We love to hear that kind of stuff. We're always counting the space bucks around here. So I'm in good territory here. I know that you'll catch up to in a second. It's starting to get kind of hilly, and there's a little bit of in between hills, and you know, hopefully we'll find something here. This last set of 2 was not didn't have it. It took a little while for them to pop, and they didn't have a whole lot in them.
Still didn't have squat. No.
Hey, there's some doublers. All right.
Mining mode on.
Some doublers. Turn this thing back a touch.
Mining mode off. Mining mode on.
Scalba said that he cashed in a full max, and it was a 1.1 mil. That's that's the kind of payday that you just like to have. You know, anytime you're cracking $1 million, that is nothing to sneeze at. That's real good money.
That's a full max. That's a one. Yeah, that's $1 million. A full max is $1 mil. That's, ooh, baby. I know that always makes my blood boil.
I hear you. You know, and to be honest with you, I some guys will just wait till they have a ton more than that. I kind of feel like, you know, somewhere between a max and a Taurus is, you know, I don't know that I'm hauling much more than 170 SCU at a time. 174 SCU is probably, you know, I don't know that I, you know, feel that comfortable, you know.
It gives the old butthole a little pucker when you're out there.
It does, man.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You don't want to lose that, you know. I mean, that you got a lot of work on. You got a lot of hours on board by the time that comes around. Hey, there's Doubler. Cyber Spookies. Oh, go ahead.
The one out of 100 times that you end up getting pirated is going to be the one that you have a C2 full, and yeah, you know what I mean. And it's that's see, that's where I'm on the line where I like the Freelancer Max because it's small enough that I, like I say, don't want to hang myself when I lose it.
That's exactly right. Because, you know, they've done a great job. Everything's a lot more stable than it used to be, and you probably are going to be okay. But, you know, if you lose much more than, you know, 120 SCU at Quantanium, it can hurt. Well, this is too bad. This is a 7400 at 35%. I'm not going to be able to get this one, but there's 7400 at 34%, almost 35%. That's quite a bit in this one. So, cool. So, I'm going to bounce back over to the chat here just a second. Cyber Spooky says his ship progression was the Titan, to the Prospector, to the Max, to the M2 Eclipse Sentinel, and the next will be the Mole. And then that's the reason I thought you might like that one. The Mole is, you know, is one that... The
Mole's my end game too right now. Yep.
Yep. And, you know, I got the Mole myself, and I just adore that ship. It's so much. Probably have the most fun in that ship. So this is 7439. I'm just going to do the math in QuantCalc real quick.
Yeah, you could do your math on that one. I'll just answer this question. Michael R was asking what kind of refining method do we use? We use the Dinex method for the most part with a Prospector. The Dinex method because it gives you the most back for your dollar. You pay very little dollars, but you wait the most time. So it's a day and a half until you can actually go and take it in. The other side of that coin is the Ferron method. The Ferron method we use when you want to get that in the next 8 hours. So let's say you get that tonight. You pay a little extra money. It doesn't take a whole lot more away from you, but it does take some. And you can refine it, and you can refine it within 8 or 9 hours as opposed to 36 hours.
Yeah, if you get with a Mole, if you get that Dynex, if you get like 70 SCU on board and it's Dynex solvenation, see you in 4 days.
In 4 days, it's 4 days. Yeah.
Yeah, you know it's.
So then you use the Ferron because it just makes more sense.
Yeah, you're hauling the next day. It might be, you know, 1 day, 10 hours or something. You know, it's not terrible. I don't remember. You know, obviously it's relative to how much SCU you have. So, anyways, I had to drive I had to drive away from 50 SCU over there. It was a 7400 at I think 35% ish, and so.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing though. Yeah, without the surges, you can't make that.
No.
But that's just that's the what do you call it? That's the risky take.
That's the game I play right there. Hey, there's a cluster, smaller one, but we'll call it.
That's okay. See, and this could pay off right now.
Yeah, no problem. And then let's see here. Imagine a guy using a hull C for this and losing it. Yeah, could you imagine having a hull C full of Quantanium and losing that?
Oh,
You might be on the horn with CIG trying to.
hey,
just
you know what?
please.
Hey, step into my office
Yeah.
because you're fucking fired.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, could you imagine if you were the guy who had to report back to your org their 2 weeks of work is gone? Holy crap.
Oh, that's
Oh, that would be rough, buddy. It's like, yeah, I'll get you're promoted the customer real quick.
And actually, too, there, Big D there, he's absolutely right. I lost 8 work orders worth about $2 million. That was before I learned about you get rid of your refinery before the patch. So I always get rid of my refinery before the patch. We always make sure.
Yep. We start talking about the patch that's coming about a week before it's coming, and then we try and just make sure that for the most part you get it cleared out. You might run up kind of close to when it is.
And we lost one.
Yep.
We lost one load, so what, right?
Yep.
But last one, but there's nothing you can do about it because you don't know when it's coming out.
Yep. I mean, you kind of rolled it. We kind of rolled the dice. We thought it was coming out on a Friday, and it came out on a Thursday. So we had one in the hopper there that we lost, but for the most part, we had both of us had our our refining jobs cleaned out, and that's a nice tip that Big D Man shared right there, and I think that we've all been there. I've lost them. Yeah, everybody seems to learn the hard way, but if you can learn not the hard way by listening and
Yep. But you know what? One way or the other, it sucks because that one that we lost was in a mole, and it was about 650,000 worth of Quantanium. So,
well, hey, I think we struck pay dirt here. So we're looking at a 5191 at 49%. This is going to be a nice rock. I may have to ring the bell here. We may get a uni out of this one if I do my job right.
Yeah, you do that one. I'm going to answer Cyber Spooky here. Once you get to the pad, you land your craft on the pad, you get down and you store your Prospector, that turns it from volatile to non-volatile. So even if you die after you store it, then you're fine. You can still refine it.
Yep, once it's stored, it's golden. That's what Scal was saying, and yep, that's exactly right. So here we are, guys. When you come prospector mining, hopefully this guy breaks clean. But when you come prospector mining, the old 5191 at 49% is.
Oh, that's a beauty.
Yeah, that's a real nice rock. So, this is what unis are made of. Hopefully, So we'll take our time. I'll keep real good tight watch on these lasers here, and we'll see if we can't bring a uni on board. Ring the bell.
You bet.
So very manageable. 5191's a very manageable mass. Obviously an instability is pretty high here. And you can see off to the left-hand side, I had Brandt, FLTRXL, but if you notice in the second slot is that FLTRXL, and I bet you if I go to Alt 3, I'll just do it now because I'm curious. There's nothing there.
Yeah, it's the 3. It's a glitch. It's not representing them in the right slots, and it does it on mine too.
So we're gonna have a little fun here with this. This is gonna be. I'm going to be doing a lot of feathering, I think, because I may not have... Now, one of the things we like to do with the brands is break 2 rocks up with one, so we'll see how cleanly this breaks. But, we're going to... we could definitely... There's going to be a lot of 2.5 instabilities here that I might be playing with at that. Because I don't think that that's a full brand either. I think there's maybe only a charge or 2 left. And so, at least we got the filter.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess. You know what? With this size of one, you would have needed the filter.
Yeah, that. And listen, and that's kind of the give and take of things, right? That's the life you live as a miner. You make choices, and and those choices. I mean, rocks break unclean, and that filter's a great thing to have. The one thing I will say is, this is the second time now I put that filter on there, and it like kills one of the extra brands I have on board. And so, you know, and that's not supposed to happen. So, you know, I'm not going to cry too much about it, but it's something to keep in mind here. So we've got this guy going pretty well. We're keeping an eye on it. We've got a good break going here so far. And she can dive out. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. She'll dive out sometimes. It's an unstable rock, and you just gotta... I'd rather flirt with the optimal line than the overcharge line. So you can see most of that fell out, but here she comes back again, roaring back. Of course, she jumped into the overcharge, but I feathered her back pretty quickly. And now I'm just kind of keeping a close eye on it, letting it work a little bit. Nope, now it's falling. She fell out. I'll go ahead and put her back to max again. Hopefully we won't lose all of it, but we'll see how it goes. This is going to be, you know, we're going to be working this a bit. I don't want to waste a brand on, and you know, she fell out completely. So, you know, I don't want to waste a brand on a 1.95 instability. I want to save it for the 2.5s, or a couple of them if I can. So we're staying real focused on the laser here. And being real patient, that's the key. That's the key to a situation like this, is being real patient. Good break. So Lasai says, I misclicked my way out of the tourist load of Quant. Wouldn't want to think about, oh yeah, I hear you. Lasai lost a tourist load. I've been there, man. I know how that goes. Big D. I also tried to do a terminal-to-terminal transfer with just one load of ore. It didn't work.
I was just saying to him, you'd have to be on Bajini Point for terminal-to-terminal. ArcL1 won't work because it's not directly above. It's not the port directly above the Area 18.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's those landing zones share for sure. When it's like but you know, like Area 18 shares with Bajini. Everest Harbor shares with Lorville. Microtech shares, New Babbage shares with Port Tressler, and
Exactly.
and then Alisar shares with Orison. So those are the places you want to haul to. So, all right, so we're gonna have our hands full here. And there's a big boy down there too. That one's junk. Let me kind of take a look at this other side. I'm just kind of curious. Oh, there's that big boy. This is that one that's kind of a big mass. 775. It's it's 86%. Yeah, this is going to be a fun run. This is going to be an interesting break. I'm going to see if I can flirt with a couple of these, and just not use the brand. See how it goes for us. This is going to be an interesting... It's going to test my feathering ability for sure.
Yeah.
So
Get some of your ones here out of the way and see if it moves some of those lesser ones out of the way. You know what I mean?
yeah, there's 20 SEU over, so I think I'll be okay.
Because some of those other ugly ones could fall off. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Well, I could definitely do that. And she fell. Is she gonna fall out? Nope. She tried to. She's trying to again. Oh, she fell out for a sec. I'm going back after her pretty strong. She's falling out. There we go. She's coming back up in. Nope. Now it's trying to. There's a lot of back and forth here. She's swinging pretty wild.
Scalba says the brands are cheap. Use them.
Well, it's not. Yeah, I don't. I think I only have. I definitely going to use a brand on this one. There's an 1103 down here. That I've gotta get broken up. I think I'm gonna break up this piece of trash on here a little bit and just kind of break this guy. I definitely. I abuse the heck out of the brands. It's not so much about that. Because I think I have them in limited quantity, and I want to use it on the big mass one, the one that's an 1100. A couple of these other ones that are 600 or 700, I think I'll just kind of just feather my way through them and
yes, sir,
and see how that goes.
See, this is where I want to try overcharge a little bit and have them blow off the top.
Yeah, like I did earlier.
Without hurting anything underneath of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, just like I did earlier, and I didn't do that this time, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, she just broke straight away there.
Yep. You didn't. Oh yeah, but yeah.
I didn't put any mustard on it.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You didn't have enough time to get through it. Yeah.
I didn't put any mustard on that one at all, so. She's swinging wildly at 2.2. We're hanging in there. Oh, she fell out there for a sec. Back up we go.
Well, and I'll just reiterate here too. So, Big D was asking what shares RKL1 for terminal to terminal. And I said nothing, because RKL1 is a Lagrange point, not a station above a planet. Lagrange point is where there's a neutral gravity area between a planet and a moon, or a planet and a sun. So this Lagrange point, this is what stops, you know what I mean, any kind of orbit from happening, so it can sit in this one spot.
Oh wow!
This RKL1 is a Lagrange point, just like what the new James Webb Space Telescope is going to, is a Lagrange point.
That's crazy.
So,
little astrophysics from 4. That's awesome, man. I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. So that's what a Lagrange point really is. Yeah.
That is cool as heck. I had no idea. I'll be the first to admit that. All right, so I broke these two here. Looks like I'm going to get away with this one here. Easy peasy. All right, so I've saved my Brant for this one. It is under there, boy. What is this? What is going on here? What's this thing?
Wow. While you're doing this, can I address another one?
Yeah, I'm definitely 100% focused on bringing home the bacon here.
Yeah, you do your thing. Okay, so, I've had multiple times that I've done this, Andres, is so basically when you overcharge your rock, it's just like an EMP. It's just like an electromagnetic pulse hitting your ship. So it can throw you upside down, it can give you a toss. It won't blow up your ship, but what it is going to do is it's going to stop you from turning on your power on your panels. So it's just like it takes out your power plant, you know what I'm saying? But your engines can still turn on, and your info can still turn on, but nothing goes to your sticks, to your anything. Nothing goes to power. So that's the whole thing. It's just like an EMP. When it hits you hard, it blows you away and doesn't kill you, and then you're really looking for a rescue mission, because then it's basically like you gotta scuttle his ship.
Alright, so I got a lot of purple now. There's gonna be another. Let's scooch over this way and take a look at this yellow from the side here. see what was down in that guy. Nothing. Okay. I think I'm ready to scoop here. Although this would be the time when you'd love to have the 315P to come in here and pull some of this garbola off the top.
Absolutely, and that'll come soon enough. You know what? We're going to be able to bring in the Venture, or the Vulture, or whatever it's called, and he should have
tractor beam on there too.
Tractor beam, thank you, tractor beam, and be able to pull all that shit off.
Yep, and the Taurus has a little tractor beam under her nose too. So, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and give this guy. We're gonna go ahead and do some scooping and see how we do. It's gonna be a little tricky here, but there's a lot of. We're definitely gonna try and shoot for as many hundos as we can. But this thing, it broke. We're gonna work for it. We are gonna work for it. A lot of these hundos are up underneath this. Oh, there's the spot there. Another hundo.
So he's asking if you want military components on it. I said I think the lifeline drops most of that back, 90%. I think the lifeline is the one that you want. If you're running surges, keep your lifeline. If you know that you're going to blow up because you've got it in the overcharge, blow that lifeline and back up as quickly as you can.
Absolutely. That's a 25%er. I'm not messing with that. Boy, I don't want to. Shoot, that one's not scanned. Let's see what we got there. Hey, there's a 201 hundo. We'll take that.
Sorry to interrupt you here.
No problem.
Like I said, I don't know about. I've never tried putting a military grade on a Prospector. I don't know how much it would help. Maybe it would, but I do know that if you go to ArcL1 and look at what the lifeline does for like an overcharge, it's minus 90%. Like and if you back up, if you know you're gonna blow up, you can see it and back up as quick as you can.
Never a bad idea to hit 8 up on the top of the key on the keypad as well. That will kind of move the shields to the front.
Shields to the front, absolutely. Good call. Well, yeah, that's good. Heard military grade components recover better from EMPs, so that would be a good experiment. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, that's not a bad idea. I don't necessarily know that I want to. I mean, we could, but at the same time, you're not making any money if we're going to try to blow ourselves up. I suppose it wouldn't be bad for a night of having some fun.
There's
See what
another
blows the guy up and what doesn't.
Yeah. Alright, so we're at 27 SCU. We're hoping to just get lucky here and grab a couple more hundos. That's not a hundo. There's a... Well, we'll see what we have here. Not a hundo there. What's this guy? It's brutal when I'm going to give you the rescan. If I hit it, I'll mess my... I'll mess my thing up.
I know the rescan thing sucks. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't want to mess up my...
And then you're just you're just flying blind. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let me just kind of keep wiggling here. I'm going to try and keep...
You're close. You're close.
I'm real close, right? Another hundo or two and I would be real good. Hey, there's one.
There we go. Right on.
Take that. And that's not going to get me all the way there, but you know what? That's
Damn close.
not that guy. Maybe this
Well,
guy.
you got the filter on too, so that's good. You got the filter on.
That's true. Hey, there's one more. Hey, we'll call it good. Right? We will call that a... If I had a bell to ring, I'd ring that sucker.
Ring that bell. Yeah.
Yep,
Tip the mat.
that is a uni right there. So up we go.
Tip the bartender. Ring the bell.
Absolutely. Oh, and a beautiful, beautiful sunset, nonetheless.
Andre says the timer's gonna kill you. I think you're doing okay.
Nah, yeah, we're good.
Oh yeah, we haven't even hit first alarm yet, and we're already taking off. Oh yeah, we got lots of time.
Yep, and it's listen. I will agree with Andre though. Most of the time, I mean, I had to spend a little bit extra time just kind of being real discerning with the laser there. The good news is every time you take on a hundo, it does give you just a touch of a bump in the timer, and we'll see. You know, we should be just fine. You know, whenever we get a uni, you know, that's a good moment, man. And especially when we can show that you have a little more time. Usually, we'll see how it works out, but you have a little more time than you think. And you don't need to panic. You can get on those lasers and look real good. And, you know, obviously there was a couple there that wouldn't rescan. Fortunately, I had enough over. I mean, there was 50 SCU in that rock. And I had to kind of, you know, pick the edges up.
You had to pick and choose. Yeah, you had to pick and choose each one. Yeah.
Yep, that's for sure.
You could have came back with 28 or 26.
Easily.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Easily, for sure. But, you know, I had to pick the edges up there and call her good. So we haven't heard first alarm yet. We're coming in. Andre's asking, what's the funniest experience we've seen the Prospector blowing up? I will tell you a funny mole story. I was in the mole, the first time I ever took the mole out. Some guy was just saying in the game, hey, you know, want a mole crew? And I thought, I'm going to get myself some mole experience. I'd been prospected for a while, so I wasn't a super greenhorn. But there was one guy who came with us who was a bit green on the lasers, and we were in that thing, and we were on Calliope, I remember this. And he blew he blew a rock up, and he blew that mole in a way that, like, it blew us, first of all, we were on the planet's surface. It blew us into the lower, like, out into orbit. And we were in such a violent spin, like the mole ran out of hydrogen trying to self-correct. Like he didn't hit decouple at all. He just you know, didn't think to do it. And so because it was we were in such a violent spin, it was trying to correct. It actually ate all of the hydrogen, and we were in dead space. I mean, we all were blacked out, but when we came out of that, we were still spinning a little bit, and we were in orbit above the planet, like coming out of a spin, and eventually we're just in dead space and had to call for a pickup. It was hilarious. You know, that's you know, obviously we've seen a lot of prospectors blow up here and there, but that was one of the funnier ones for myself, anyways. All right.
Please proceed to assigned landing bank.
We haven't heard first alarm yet, so we're in really good shape. Somebody on a pad up over here. Put the gear down, put the VTOLs down. Come in real smooth on this one. Oh, you know what? That's not what I think it is. I'm going to hit my brakes pretty good. Head over this way for a sec. Kind of threw me for a loop that it wasn't in the normal pad space, and that's just fine. Just bring her in nice and smooth.
It's really odd that you got the backside, is it not?
Well, I think there's some. Yeah, there was definitely a ship on the pad there. But it is, yeah. I've seen that. Like if there's enough, enough of them occupied, where it gives. Like once in a blue moon, I've seen them give me this one. So, we still haven't heard first alarm yet.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
And we are heading out. A lot of times you'd start hearing first alarm before I get off the ship here, though. We'll see. There she goes. Right as we're climbing out. That's pretty par for the course. Andre saying, my prospector was about to blow up. I spotted a guy that was about to jump another ship on the platform next to mine. So I kamikaze the guy, we blew up together. It was glorious. That's crazy.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome.
He was about to jump on another ship on the planet. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's
pretty funny. Except I was probably the guy on the ship next to him.
That's funny. Hey, look at this thing.
If I'm going out, I'm taking everybody with me.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's exactly right. So hey, that's a uni right there. We're not going to complain about a uni.
Yeah, man.
We're going to take that guy in, and we are going to put that guy in the hopper. We want to get her stored. We want to get it stored and stop the timer. But that was a uni, and I had to work for it a little bit too.
Actually, you know what though? You had to work a little bit for it, but at the same time, I would say that was way more efficient than it has been lately. Like I think it's starting to come around again.
I agree.
Lyria is starting to come back around because right at the beginning of the patch, it's been so quiet. It's starting to come back around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do know what you're saying. You know, like, and we were thinking that maybe Lyria was getting a touch dry. We had a couple mole runs there that were quiet. You know, and we weren't sure. So,
I mean, I don't think I've ever. Maybe once I got skunked, but I could have probably stayed out longer, but I had had enough.
I have definitely been skunked a few times, like, you know, but not so much on Lyria.
Yeah, right.
But,
oh, yeah.
You know, I've gone out mining and then, you know, just kind of ran out of time. Life was coming or whatever. Kind of had 45 minutes or an hour and a half, didn't have, you know, and just, you know, just had to go fly back in and land the ship and log off. You know, it happens once in a blue moon.
Yeah, no, that one happens. I'm just thinking skunked as in run out of hydrogen that you have to make it back before you find anything worth mining. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's... Yeah. And, you know, and we've had a couple of those in the mole recently where we're, you know, down under 25%.
That's what I was alluding to, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take a look around.
Yep.
We got a pretty good selection.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here. We got the Miss Prospector and a set the work order. That's a uni right there, so we'll call that good. I will put in a Dynic solvenation on that. And, you know, it's 1 to 18 hours. It's, you know, it's costly. So, you know, we got a little bit in the hopper now. There's 50 there. And there's another, you know, 58 there. So 108, 128, 139 SCU cooking.
Oh, so now you gotta take the Taurus. Now you can't even take the Prospector Max, Freelancer Max.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to take the Taurus for sure. So, you know, I wish I had time to do one more. The fact of the matter is, I don't. And I see that, you know, it's too bad. It seems like you know, we've got a ton of guys watching. One thing I will ask, you know, if you like the content here, go ahead and click that like button. You know, it helps us know if you like it, and you know, it does help the channel out too. So I think at some point we're going to get on a regular schedule. You know, I don't know when that will be, but we're going to get on a regular schedule doing the mining stream, and this has been a great night. I have definitely enjoyed everybody's time, and we've had a great conversation, and we certainly, you know, nothing wrong with ending the stream on a uni, for sure. So, obviously, I want to thank you for being on board and helping out and just kind of chatting. I think the streams are always better when there's somebody to chat with.
I think it works good, and yeah, definitely subscribe and hit the like button and help this guy out. We're trying to make a channel, right? Every little bit helps. It helps the algorithm.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to do this here, which is kind of one of those things I do at the end of the night and flip that guy over that way. And I just want to say thank you all. Have a lovely night, and I will see you all around the verse.